What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Tuesday Swing for the Fences show. We got the Braves guy. I see a lot of people in chat saying Gary's on the Braves, the top stack. He's going to be all over it. Then we got Big T on the free show. A bunch of people I see are excited for that. And Big T, I got to go to you right away because you got a lot of stuff right yesterday. That's for sure. And both sports, NBA and MLB. You talked about in Discord how MLB has been an easy sport. It takes you, 10 minutes, 12 minutes to get your lineups done. You dropped in Discord 15 minutes before the slate saying just play the Dodgers, play both the aces, play Oakland against the leverage of Marco Gonzalez. And it all just absolutely printed. And tons of members had a ton of success yesterday. In NBA, I was watching the show as well. You said Boston's going to blow them out, even with the Smart injury. What did they do? They beat them pillar to post from the beginning to the end. So, hey, I got to give you some credit. Huge win. We'll get to your, 62K in MLB, another 10 plus in NBA. Congrats to you. That's a big night, and a lot of members had a big night, which has to feel even better.
Yeah, it's always fun when you go in there. And I even said it on the premium show. The last few NBA games, I just haven't been very good. The Golden State series is whooping me. I haven't been right. I don't like letting the members down. It's just the truth. And I said it on the show. I want to dig. This isn't why everything went good yesterday, but who knows? Maybe I was a little more focused with it. And it's fun when everyone wins together. That's why I like doing that show. All the members. Yeah, it's not the same exact team, but it's a similar blueprint to where everyone should have a good night. And like last night in that NBA, for example, if you watch that show and listened, I think it would be basically impossible not to win money. Maybe not ship because you got to hit the right combo, but to make money, it would have been very, very hard because we were lower on all the Miami guys. Really, Jaylen Brown was the only miss where he wasn't very good, but he was still on the winner. He was still in the nuts just because the way the slate went. But who knows what would have happened if he actually went off. Maybe somebody else in the middle tier was less. But, yeah, it's fun. We're doing these shows through the finals, premium shows most days. Every once in a while we'll sprinkle in a free one, break down each game through the finals, and we're only down to the finals starts next Thursday. So I think there's a Millie Maker too, I'm pretty sure, for game one. So that's going to be fun. Try to get some tickets into that. I don't know if it's $20-$25, whatever it is, maybe even more. I don't know what they did, but it's going to be fun to get a Millie. And yeah, baseball, it's a baseball show. I said it in the Discord. I just think we've got to the point where it's almost like golf, where everyone wants, if they play 8 teams, they want 8 different stacks, and they want 10 different pitchers, and they want everything so spread around that if you can just focus on a few teams. I've been very successful this year, just not really because I'm still in basketball mode. I lean on these guys, Gary and the baseball team, for the basic knowledge, like Gary yesterday with the good Lyles call and these different calls. DC has the pitching takes every day that I read about, but I just don't put much time into it, which has maybe helped me in a way where I just don't overcomplicate it. Yesterday, the Dodgers are facing a guy that can't get lefties out, and the Dodgers are going to rake every day. So even if they were higher owned, which these teams keep coming in lower owned, all of them pretty much between 10 and 15%. Sure, some of the top Rios was cheap. Maybe he was a little bit higher. I forget the ownerships, but point being, they were way lower owned than they should be. I think people just overcomplicate baseball. You don't have to play 8 different stacks. Yeah, when you go all in on 1 or 2 teams and they score 2 runs that night, you're going to lose. That's fine. It's just like the other sports. But if you spread around too thin, when your team hits, you're not even guaranteed to win because you only got the one team with 7 losers. So I don't know. I love baseball because of the time commitment. There's not that many late scratches. Once you get the lineup and the pitchers and the weather, that's really it. I mean, you can dive deeper, but our baseball team covers it for you. Got a splits chart up from Stevie Boynton, articles from Gary and Uncle T free every day, premium articles coming, which I'm sure Title will talk about in a minute, from AP, JT Hayes, and Glock, I think, is doing it. Those 3 doing premium. We got you covered. You just don't have to do that much work, which I love after a long basketball grind, because basketball does take a lot of time.
That's what I was just going to say. Going from basketball, I mean, I love basketball. It's probably my favorite DFS sport, but
me too.
The grind is real. You're up till 10 o'clock.
You can't go to bed, but I mean, you can't do anything until the last game because you're worried about all that doesn't have, even in baseball, say you miss one, you get a dude that gets scratched. You're still not dead in baseball. So what? You got a 0. Yeah. Obviously, you want to avoid that, but it doesn't kill you if you miss it.
Yeah, I mean, it's completely different. So, yeah, that's why the summers are nice. The weather gets warm. And, yeah, baseball, I mean, we have a great team. Gary, Steve Boynton, JT. Yesterday, JT, he wasn't on any of the shows yesterday. He was on the core plays, though. I check his core plays. He game stacked Seattle and Oakland. Very, very good game stack. Won a lot of people a lot of money. DC was over the Royals. I mean, there's so much content we have over here. You mentioned the premium articles. Those are new. AP, Glock, and JT are going to be doing those. Gary's on the free article. I believe Uncle T's on some free articles. We have the playbook, core plays, cash chart, all that every single day. So tons of content. I see a couple winners yesterday in chat. Steve Anthony and Nadesify. They had really, really good lineups. There's a lot of RPS logos up top that we were sweating. So we'll get to some members never win later. Congrats to you boys that I see you in chat. Gary, a lot of people are talking about no hat Gary. They're seeing your hair for the first time. I didn't even really recognize right away when I came in, but tell the people what's going on. You lose your hat or something? You style it? What's going on?
Holden complimented him yesterday. Now he's feeling good about that hair up top.
So I was on the free show on Sunday, I think it was Sunday. Yeah. And he's like, he just made a comment. I've never seen your hair. And I'm like, it's all over the place. Like I always wear a hat. So I took it off and he's like, oh, you have the best hair at RPS now. So I'm just showing off the best hair at RPS.
I like it.
It's got a full head. I got some grays coming in, but to be expected. I'm about to hit 40 next year. So
hey, still young. We got Joey Wirtz saying Gary's hot.
Still got my Braves jersey on now.
Is that a sneak preview for what later? A little top stack for the Braves?
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be they'll be mentioned.
All right. Any weather? I just got in town not too long ago. It looks like weather should be pretty good. I'm not seeing too much. We got 12 games, good hitting, good pitching. I think it's a pretty good slate. A good one yesterday, good one today. Any initial thoughts before we dive into pitching, or you just want to get right into it, Gary?
Yeah, I mean, yesterday was phenomenal. And Nadesify was in my DMs. He was all excited last night. He put 2 lineups in DraftKings, and one of them was in the big $15, and he almost shipped it. I was rooting him on hard last night. I'm normally in the bed a little early, but since he was in my DM, I was kind of trying to root him home there. Didn't happen, but he still had a huge night. We're gonna have another one tonight.
Yeah, there's nothing better than when the members get like that, though, because I've obviously known him for I don't know how long now, 6 months in the chat or something. He's one of the nice regulars, always rooting for people. You could tell he was a little nervous, though, which I love, getting in there rooting him on and watching his team. You could definitely tell he had a little more tension in his post all night.
Hey,
the sweat's real, man.
Yeah.
Even for me, after all this time, like when you see the queue, when I pull it up towards the end, I know I'm fading a few teams. You still get that blood pumping a little bit, no matter how long you do. That's why it's fun, right?
Yeah, that's why we play. At the end of the day, you can't get too high on your highs, too low on your lows and stuff. But when you're getting those spots, you just got to give yourself a chance. We always talk about it. It's tough to ship the $15, the $100K, and all that. I saw Whit Merrifield because I was hopping. I saw Nadesify had a sweat. I was hopping in with them. Warning track, Whit Merrifield, certain little bounces. It's tough, but you give yourself a chance. I believe $113 to $3K or something. Steve Anthony had $36. He's always in YouTube chat. Shout out to him. He 3,000 or something as well. Him and Nadesify were battling in one of them. So plenty of membership. It was a very good night. We're going to look to keep it going. So congrats to you guys. We got Howdy in chat, Gavitz, Eric, Uncle T, what's going on? Steve Boynton. We got a lot of people in here, a lot of the crew. GQ, Mike Carr. Appreciate all of you hanging out with us. Do us a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe as always. But we're going to dive into pitching right away. Big 12-game slate. No weather concerns is how I'm approaching it. Again, if anything changes, we always will let you know in Discord. I'm going to go to you, though, Gary, and I'm going to say let's go 9K and above. Let's start there. Max Fried all the way up to Corbin Burns. I think there's good pitching in the bottom range, but there's also good pitchers up top. We're talking about Corbin Burns, one of the better arms in the league. Dylan Cease, a strikeout machine. There's Kevin Gossman. So 9.1K Max Fried to 10-1 Corbin Burns. Gary, break it down for us.
Yeah, this slate is loaded with pitching at the top. I like all these guys with the exception of maybe Bassett. I won't pay that for Bassett or Walker Buehler. I don't like playing Walker Buehler. So low strikeout matchup against Washington here. But I do have a lot of interest in the rest of these guys. And it starts at the top with Corbin Burns. San Diego's been really bad outside of Manny Machado. I mean, they have one bat to get around. I'm only seeing 32% for Corbin Burns, and sign me up. I'll probably be double that tonight. Love Corbin Burns as the late night hammer. I don't think he's getting enough respect here. But yeah, Cease is also a great play here. 9,800 boom bust option here. Boston has been one of the best teams against right-handed pitching over the last few weeks, but Cease has been just a straight monster, and his strikeout prop's 8.5, which has steadily risen throughout the day.
Is that the highest all year? I think that's the highest I've seen.
I think it's pretty darn high. We got some plus. It's at plus 121 on the over, so they're guessing about 8 strikeouts for him here, which I think he could get it here. Gaussman, another guy. I mean, he's coming off a stinker, 9,500 against the hot St. Louis team. He's going to be 10% owned or less. Like him a lot. And Zach Gallen gets a good matchup here against Kansas City as well. He's just been really good this year. I think he's got one of the lowest, second lowest expected ERA on the slate tonight. 5% ownership is what I'm seeing on him. And then my boy Max Fried is 9,100. Philly, I'm not really too concerned about. They got some power bats, but I mean, man, Max Fried has shown elite control this year. I think he has something like a 1 or 2% walk rate with like a 25% strikeout rate. So like that a lot. But yeah, so I like a lot of these guys up here. And it's going to start with Burns, and I'm going to X out Bassett and Buehler.
After Burns, give me the top 2 in the top range that you go to next.
Oh man, that's tough. I don't know yet.
All right.
I haven't decided yet.
All right. Fair enough. Big T, I'll go to you. Same thing. 9.1K Max Fried, 10-1 Corbin Burns. Got some studs up top for sure. So, and we also have good pitching down low. So what are you doing in this upper tier?
Yeah, I mean, some days lately it's been easy. Like Garrett Cole yesterday was just a lock. I mean, he was 90-something% owned in a lot of the high stakes stuff. So just a total lock. And a lot of days we've had that. Today it's a little more hairy just because, I don't know, a lot of these projections are super condensed, and a lot of the matchups, it's like a good pitcher versus a somewhat tougher offense where it at least makes it a little tricky. But the good thing is, like Gary said, I mean, a lot of these guys up here are studs, so you're going to trust the talent more than the matchup, at least for me. There's no locks, though. I mean, even Burns in San Diego, I'm not like super excited to play him, but he's clearly like the best guy on the slate. As far as if I just had to like pick a guy to be the leading scorer, I would go with him for sure. But he's not a lock to me like Cole yesterday. Cease is the one I always play. I just love Cease. I don't know what it is. Last year he wasn't even that great. I think I played him every start. I just like him. But man, Boston has started to get cooking a little bit. And one of the things I definitely pay attention to in baseball is heaters. Who's heating up? Who's cold? Like people keep tilting Byron Buxton and guys like that. Like, why are you playing him? I don't get it. He's been struggling. I don't know. Like the chat was so tilted yesterday, and I just didn't get the Byron Buxton. But Bassett, the Hound, I don't think I'm with Gary. I like him, but I don't like him more than the guys in this range. And like with every sport that we talk about around Pure, you can't play all the guys. See, you got to make some stands. I'm not going to play him. I'm with Gary. Gaussman is a guy that I've played. I mean, he just looks good outside of like one start, really. I mean, every other start, he's been pretty good. Last time Seattle nicked him up a little bit, but he's just been so solid. So at St. Louis, I'm not that worried about that matchup either. So you could definitely go to him. Gallen might be the best talent of the night outside of Corbin Burns. I guess Cease too. He's very similar. But Kansas City had a big night last night with the bats. I don't mind coming back with Gallen at 93. I'm going to fade Buehler with Gary. I don't know. He's a good real-life pitcher, a really good real-life pitcher. I just don't ever play him fantasy-wise. Outside of short slates, I just don't do it. Fried, I actually kind of like Fried as a sneaky play tonight a little bit at 91 versus Philly. Philly's one of the, I know everyone always makes fun of me for baseball. I just believe in splits and ballparks so much. And well, I like Philly against righties better. And then again, the numbers, people that have watched me will laugh at me for this. The numbers could be totally different. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But just in my head, I like Philly better versus righties because a couple of these lefties are always my favorite. And the righties they got hit righties decent. So I don't know. Like, I don't like Harper and Schwarber all that much versus lefties. Fried's been solid. I don't like to pick on him. So I don't know. He's kind of one of the sneaky ones. I bet he doesn't get much ownership against Philly with all these other guys up there. Like, he can't be more than 15% owned or 20% top. So I think he's pretty sneaky up top, especially with all the guys in the same range. I know Gary likes the Braves. I don't know. Just looking at this lineup, I mean, who am I? I'm scared of Castellanos for sure, but he's been kind of cold. Hoskins, I don't know. Like, they still have a good lineup, but I think Fried can navigate a little bit for a sneaky kind of play at the top. But honestly, nobody up here is a must play for me tonight. I don't have any sort of insane strong take about any of them.
Yeah, I think it could definitely be a spot where you pick your favorite bats, you pick your favorite stack, and there's pitchers at all the ranges that you can go with. So I'm going to come back to you, though, Big T, 8.8K Logan Webb. I'm going to go all the way down to 7-1 Syndergaard. Two names I want you to touch on for sure. Blake Snell, 7.3K on DraftKings. He's 6K on FanDuel. It's the biggest question on the slate because he's making a second start this year. He pitched 84 pitches in his first one, which is a good sign. But we know Blake Snell. I mean, he can go out, he can throw you 10 strikeouts, pitch a gem, or he can walk batters, or have no control, and then have two and a third inning and something and be pulled. Very boomer bust guy, but 7.3K, you got to talk about him. And then I see Steve Boynton, Uncle T, and some others talking about Framber Valdez at 8.2K against Cleveland. So
I think Stevie has Framber's poster on his ceiling. Like,
he loves the Houston.
He literally chugs
all the starters, all the Houston
to.
starters.
Yeah.
Lunch Lady, Framber Valdez, Kyle Tucker.
He literally strokes the salami to Houston's pitchers for 2 years now.
Uncle T said he agreed though. So Valdez, Blake Snell, and then anybody in that range you like 8.8 to 7-1.
Did you ask me or Gary?
You, Big T.
Oh, my fault.
You're good. You're good.
I got sidetracked. I thought you said you were going Gary. I like this range more than the upper range actually, and that is usually not how I build. I usually like to get like yesterday. I had the two studs in there. Everyone's going to play. What did Marco come in owned? I forgot to look. High?
Man, cash games, he was like 75%.
That's what I mean. And that to me is just a terrible play. I said it in the chat, so it's not being results oriented at all. You're facing an Oakland team that I think is decent versus lefties. Again, it's just in my head, but a lot of those splits guys I like can hit lefties a little bit. I just didn't understand when you got aces on the slate, having a 70% owned Marco. Like, he couldn't throw the ball through a plane of glass. Like, he has no velocity. I don't get it. But anyways, before I get too sidetracked, I like this range a lot today. You got George. So yesterday we thought Big Bill was the ump at the Yankees game. Which
what was it, like a late scratch? Like after what was?
I don't get it. Like, me and Gary, I seen Gary in the chat wondering because that was part of the reason I assume he liked Lyles, and obviously Cole's projection was huge too not just because of that, but it had to give him a few points having Big Bill back there. Tonight, though, it does look like he's back there. I assume it's what it says, at least in mine.
Yeah. He was at first base last night, so he should be behind the dish tonight.
Hopefully it's true because I'm not like crazy on Jordan Montgomery, but he throws those wiffle balls in there a little bit where you give him a little bit wider of a zone. I think he could put up a big number against Baltimore.
Does it worry you that he just faced them last start?
I mean, sometimes, but not with a guy like him. I think he's creative enough, and I'm not a big Jordan Montgomery guy either. It's just more of the spot and the matchup. I think he can really navigate at 8K. And yeah, I made fun of Stevie, but Framber versus a bad Cleveland team, you have to have some interest at 8,200. I like that a lot. And I know a lot of people aren't going to like Blake Snell. I just have always liked him. So 7,300 versus Milwaukee. I look at Milwaukee's lineup versus a lefty. Tyrone Taylor, I think, is a stud. But the rest of the lineup, I just don't see it in this park. I think Snell can really, really navigate through here. So I like all three of those guys. Even Syndergaard has looked decent to me this year. How far down am I going? To 7K?
Yeah, Syndergaard, yep.
Yeah, he's looked decent too. So this is the range I actually like more than the upper range. Even though those upper guys, I don't think there's going to be a ton of offense tonight. There's a lot of good pitchers. But I do like this range more. If I had to rank them, though, Montgomery would be number 1 for sure. Framber 2, and then Blake Snell would be 3. But I do like Blake Snell a decent amount, where if I need the 700 or 900 to go from Framber and Jordan down to get like some other bat in my stack, I'll definitely go Snell over one of those two.
Yeah, I like it. Gary, same thing to you. 8-8 Logan Webb down to 7-1 Syndergaard, and then talk about Blake Snell specifically as well.
Yeah, I can't do the Jordan Montgomery thing. This is going to be the 4th time this year that he's faced Baltimore, and he hasn't crossed. I hate to be that guy, but he hasn't crossed 13 DraftKings points once in 3 tries now against Baltimore. They got Adley Rutschman up now. They look like Santander's in the lineup. They got Mountcastle in the lineup. They got all these.
How many times have they had Big Bill behind the dish for us, though?
I mean, they're going to hit the ball, so it's not going to matter. They're going to be hitting home runs tonight off of him, so the strike zone isn't going to matter.
Ooh, a little Baltimore stack. We'll get there.
I just cannot play Montgomery. He's very unexciting to me. Definitely love me some Framber tonight. I'm with Stevie Boynton on the Framber train. He might be one of my highest exposed pitchers tonight. Just love this matchup. I think he's too cheap here. I think I saw on Prize Picks earlier, his out prop was 18.5. So they're projecting to go 7 innings here, which I think is very doable. And that's 8,200 against Cleveland. I love that. I think he's going to be lower owned than Jordan Montgomery too, which I definitely like. And addressing Blake Snell, I'm seeing 25% ownership. I have one rule with Blake Snell. I do not play chalk Blake Snell. I will not be starting tonight. He just looked really bad in his first start back. He had a lot of walks. He had 3 or 4 walks in that outing. I know Milwaukee's lineup is going to be a little watered down with Renfroe out of it tonight. But yeah, I'd rather play Milwaukee bats than play Blake Snell. But one more guy that I do have interest in this range. He's been really good. Luis Robert is out of the lineup. Got placed on the COVID IL. Nick Pavetta at 7,800. Not really a Pavetta guy, but man, this guy's been really good this year. And the White Sox best hitter is now out of their lineup. So I definitely like some Nick Pavetta. So it's Framber and it's Nick Pavetta for me in this range.
Quentin asked about Nick Pavetta as well. So glad you touched on that. I think he makes some sense for sure. We got to go. I'm going to go right back to you, Gary, to finish it off, though. I left 7K and below because I think there's 2 good options. Sonny Gray and George Kirby. They get the nut matchups. Detroit's absolutely awful. Big T's Oakland A's from yesterday, but Kirby is a lot better than Marco Gonzalez.
He's also not a lefty.
And he's not a lefty. Yeah. He has, top 25 prospect, it looks like. He throws gas. He's very cheap at 6K. So talk about Gray, talk about George Kirby, and then anybody else 7K and below.
So I've been debating on Sonny Gray all day. At the projections that I look at, he has the highest projection now by almost 2 points on the slate, which is crazy to me. I know he's been really good, and he has a really good pitcher zone, like we thought last night. CB Bucknor is behind the dish, who is almost as extreme as Bill Miller behind there. But he only has a 9% swing and strike rate, so he's getting a lot of his calls on called strikes. I think Stevie mentioned that in the playbook as well. I know it's Detroit, but man, I think I'm not playing chalk Sonny Gray. I'm not doing it. And on the other guy, I can't pay for him either. I know he's coming off 2 tough matchups. He's getting talked up around the industry a little bit. I'm going to stay away. I'm going to be more focused on the upper range, kind of the opposite of Big T today on that aspect.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. There's, like I said, there's so many good pitching options at all the ranges. So if you want to jam in Corbin Burns, you want to jam in Cease, Fried, all those guys, there's enough bats as always. It's a 12-game slate. I have a feeling Big T is going to be a little different and jam these guys in on the bottom, but talk about 7K and below, Big T.
Yeah, Gary's, man. I mean, he's being very hurtful here, making fun of all the guys I like. He's hurt my feelings here, but I don't know, Kirby. So I just gave the speech.
To be fair, though, this is what I struggle with the most. When I open up the slate, when I pull up an opto and I see that 6,800 Sonny Gray is projecting to have two more fantasy points. And by the way, the projections that I have also have Blake Snell as the second highest projected guy, and then Jordan Montgomery. All three of the guys at the top projected the highest. I hate on this slate, and this is what I struggle with on a day in and day out basis. But I'm going to continue my process here. But yeah, I just can't do it.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I just trust the projections with pitcher. It's always printed, and Sonny Gray versus Detroit, Blake Snell versus a bad Milwaukee lineup. Yeah, we're going to be on different pitchers tonight for sure. The best one, though, I gave my speech about Oakland. That was against lefties. I know I'm more splits-based than a lot of people, and I don't care because it's my process, and I'm good with it. I hate Oakland versus righties. George Kirby is 6K in this ballpark against this lineup. I freaking love Kirby. He's probably my favorite pitcher of the night at 6K. And I want to jam these big offenses. Another thing people do, they try to play these greaseball offenses in their 8 stacks. Oh, I'm going to play Arizona and San Diego and Milwaukee. Well, I'm going to play the Dodgers and the Yankees, and we'll see who ends up with more bombs at the end of the night. And usually it's the Dodgers and the Yankees with the cheap guys. So the good thing about going cheaper at pitcher, I can play some of the big bats. And tonight there's not much offense. So like you can play Atlanta. We'll get to the stacks in a minute, but I'm just using it for the point. Yankees, Dodgers, Braves, early Twins even, I guess you could put in there. You got some big offenses. You can fit who you want, and there's cheap guys. That's for sure what I'm going to do. But Kirby looks incredible, and Sonny Gray with a good umpire at 6,800. He's going to be the highest owned, but the highest. I just never fade these. Like the whole year, you'll always see it. It's one thing, like say these guys were on yesterday's slate with Garrett Cole projected 27 points. I'd play Garrett Cole, but when I look at the projections and Gray and Kirby are right there with the 10K guys, I just don't see any reason to spend an extra 4K when the projection's the same. They're going to be higher owned, but I literally don't weigh ownership hardly at all, just because I can always get different with a one-off too. Like as we go through the offenses, I'm sure we'll find some greaseball one-offs we can throw in there, but I like this range. I mean, Gray, Kirby, who else is down here? I don't even hate going back to Gary's move from yesterday and Zimmerman. No one's going to play him. He's 6,200. Yeah, I'm scared. Am I scared of Judge and Stanton and Rizzo? Yeah, definitely. And they could definitely hit bombs like we saw yesterday, but I'm not worried about the rest of the lineup really. And I don't know. He's going to be 1% owned just like yesterday. And you got Big Bill behind the plate. So I don't totally hate that as a flyer, even though he's not like as solid as some of the other guys in this range.
But Mayhew just got scratched too, which you get a little bump. It's not a Judge or a Stanton in it, but that's it. That is a bat that's usually in there that just got scratched.
He doesn't ever strike out really, so it is a decent upgrade for Zimmerman.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, man, pitching is absolutely loaded. So Big T, I'll say, give me your top 4, 1 through 4, how you think you'll have the most ownership and exposure to.
My top 4 for sure. Number 1 is going to be Kirby without a doubt. I mean, 6K, nut matchup. Oakland I like how Oakland did good yesterday too, because that makes me, I know again, this doesn't mean I'm not numbers based with my stuff, but love Kirby. Sonny Gray would be number 2. I think, man, Gary does. The one guy he does bring up concerns is Montgomery. The rest of
I'm gonna say I'm on Gary's side on this one too.
I've never played Montgomery either, so it's more of
and it's a 12-game slate.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Why
And his pitch counts worry me too. As I pulled it up, he's like living in like the 70s pitch count wise. And I don't like need Montgomery. So
go to Framber right in that range. If Boynton likes it, Uncle T.
Well, I like Framber. I think Framber's actually going to get steamed. I don't believe for a second he's going to be this low owned. If he's actually going to be this low owned, then I love it.
There's just so many pitchers, like Snell,
so many
Corbin,
pitchers tonight.
Cease,
I agree.
Like,
yeah,
there's just
so many. Like, I could almost make a case for like 20 pitchers tonight. Like, I could sell you if I wanted to on like 20 of them. So I agree with Title. Like, mix and match pitcher. It's one of the things I like to do in baseball too. Either like I'll go like yesterday was more all in Cole Wheeler with a few stacks still, but tonight I could see going all in on 2 or 3 stacks and then just literally play 12 different pitchers.
I like that. Yeah. So you gave me 2. You said you said Kirby.
Yeah, 1. I guess give me Framber for number 3. I like him and Snell are close. I like Framber a little more than Snell though, I guess.
All right, I like it. Gary, give me your top 4 pitchers.
Yeah, so talking through it a little bit, I think I've changed up a little bit how I feel on how I'm going to order these guys because I want some big bats too on this slate, but I'm not going to go all the way down and play the Grays and the Kirbys. But I'll stick with Framber as my top pitcher on the slate, and then I'm going to go Pavetta as my second favorite pitcher on the slate, both in the same range there. Those 2 paired up will give me some big bats. And then I like Burns and then Max Fried.
I like it. Yeah, pitching absolutely loaded on this 12-game slate. Like you said, we gave the top 4. But you do have to – DC is now going to be on the premium show going forward for MLB. DC's got one of the best pitching takes there is in the industry. So you do have to be a member for that. Definitely curious to see who he's on. It's Holden, AP, DC going to be on the Up to Lock show, and then Big T and JSU. And AP hopped on yesterday on the NBA show. They're always doing for the showdowns. Like I said, I checked 2 Big T.
I'm just waiting for Title to hop on one day and talk some hoop with us after the Deer District. He done jumping with the deer. He's got to get on a show with us.
Well, now I'm back in town. So yeah, maybe I will hop on. I need
some help with this series anyways, because this series has whooped my ass. Like Golden State's owning me.
They're owning me too. I did not expect it to be like this. It's a tough scene for sure. But yeah, we have a lot of premium shows, 2 premium shows after this. We still do have PGA 50 as the promo code. I think this is the last day. Don't quote me. I'm not a boss man. I don't have control to pull it, but I think it's going to be gone very, very soon. So PGA 50 gets you 50% off. Uncle T and Nadefy, I appreciate. Yeah, my neck is a little sore. Sleeping on that plane, man, it's tough. So when I'm stretching my neck, that is what I'm doing. I'll get that fixed, though. Jason Clements wanted to shout out you. He said, just joined yesterday. I've had the site logo for a couple of years. I really like your content. We absolutely love to see it, Jason. Welcome to our RPS. And then CRB said, my B-Day today. We ship and let's go. Happy birthday, CRB. Hope you have a great night. I do want to mention, though, before we get in the members never win, the Discord and how important that is. And yesterday was a perfect example. If you don't follow Gary on Twitter, go over there and follow Gary. If you can read his thing in the back, I think, what does it say, Gary? Gary USG 14, right?
Yeah, it's the same as my Discord handle.
Yep, Gary USC 14, and he tweeted it. Big T went in Discord. People, I don't know what people, they don't know the time zones are different across the country. They think you posted it 40 minutes after lock, but
is that what people were saying?
No, I mean, I assume
people always want to say something.
I assume I'm giving the benefit of the doubt, and that's like what I don't know what else it could be. But Big T came in there yesterday. I think it was like 22 minutes before lock, way earlier than Big T usually gets in Discord for sure. And he said, basically, I'll read it. I'll quote it. He said, baseball is too easy like always. Both aces going to smash. Dodgers are going to score 17 runs. Everyone will worried about being too chalky instead of taking the money. Oakland cheap, unknown value leverage against chalky Marco to get us different. Go to the ticket window to collect your winnings. That is exactly what Big T did. He then hit $62,000 in MLB. And like I said, he also said on the NBA show, Boston's going to blow him out. Miami couldn't hit anything. I think they broke the playoff record since 2009 without a field goal in the first 8 minutes or something. Boston stomped on them early and absolutely went ham. So Big T, absolutely great night. No. If you sign up today, you cannot expect Big T to get everything right every single day. That is not how life works. We cannot tell the future. But nights like this, it's when you win, how much do you win? And great call sheet for sure, Big T, 62K. Then a lot of other sports, no HOWITT, keep saying that. And Howitt, I believe, he won $3,000 in MMA, had like $36 in play. So congrats to you. Mac 2 Services, $10,000 in MLB. Rye Guy, $10,000 in PGA. TMR6, Tyler Roberson, $27,000 in NBA, and Big T's favorite sport, NHL. It is still going on. I got an MMA ticket, which felt good. Tambo absolutely owned everybody. 125 big ones in Showdown, first and second place for PGA. The Woke Show, $50,000 in PGA. And I said Tambo owned anyone, but actually TYA558, the big $1 million in PGA. We talked about all the sports. I've talked about it yesterday, but PGA absolutely printed all week. MMA was a very good week, tons of screenshots. NASCAR, you keep scrolling through Discord, you saw screenshots. NBA, MLB. We've been hot over here for sure at RPS. And again, we're not right every single day, but we play what we put down. We have money on the line, and that's pretty much all you can ask for. We dig in, we do the research. So if you want to be a member, PGA 50 gets you 50% off. I don't think it's going to be up for very long. If you are a member, if you do sign up though, make sure you get in the Discord, because you get all those little nuggets from Big T, from all of us. We utilize Discord as much as anybody, and it's my favorite part of the product too. So that's enough for that though. We're going to get into some hitters.
I love all these sites too. Just to finish, this dude wins $1 million. He's a subscriber to like 4 or 5 sites because everyone's touting him. Oh, I had him. So we touted hard more than anyone in the industry. People were making fun of me. That's fine. I'm a big boy. I can handle people making fun of me. We touted the AM wave. It came true. We had the nuts. Other sites who wanted to take credit for his win said there wasn't an edge with the AM. Oh, there's no edge. The ownership, back to the ownership like the baseball. These guys are so high owned. You got to mix and match and do this. The dude won $1 million with 6 AM guys. Another site said don't play the advantage. And then they want to take credit for his win, which, first of all, I hate when we do this, but it's usually when like it's our people and they're excited. They got the logo. Everyone makes their own damn decisions. Like the dude made a great team. He could have used more than just Run Pure. He probably did. I mean, listen to all the content wherever you want. I'm a member of other places. I look at stuff, read as much as you can. It's just hilarious that people are trying to own me. He's our member. He won $1 million. Well, yeah, he's in our Discord too, and he's talking about it. What are you taking? You said there's no advantage in the waves. The dude had 6 AM guys. Explain that to me. How can you take credit for a dude winning $1 million if you said there's no advantage and he had 6 AM guys? Explain that to me.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like we're not RPS. We're not taking credit for this guy winning $1 million at the end of the day either. Like a lot of people subscribe to different stuff. You take in all the information. At the end of the day, like you said, you click your own buttons. We're not responsible if you lose. We're not responsible if you win at the end of the day. So the only guy who gets credit, TYA558.
You got to form your own plan no matter what. Like form your own. Yeah, we push the AM more than some other sites. I take the credit when like I just said yesterday, I had a few bad days. I felt like I let the people down in NBA stuff. We don't take full credit either way, but it's just hilarious. I had to bring that up because somebody tries to own me by saying the whole flight thing because my $1 million screenshot didn't end up winning. First of all, it was like a joke anyways. Maybe it didn't go how I wanted it to. Obviously, I didn't think I was going to ship the $1 million because I was winning after 2 rounds.
You knew when I saw it, though, I was like, you set yourself up for some problems.
Well, it was partly that, though. I was definitely trying to do a little of that.
Yeah.
And then point being, though, it was still a huge edge either way. I still had a good week, still won good money. It wasn't $1 million, but I still had a good week. And it was proven to be right. I love that people still don't think that was an edge. That means good things for us going forward, because if they don't think that was an edge, then we're in very, very good shape.
Yeah, when I saw 8% that only full stack, I laughed when I saw JSU. Did you find out what JSU did where he had 26?
He blamed me. Yeah, he blamed me. He said some guy was labeled wrong on my sheet or something, and Somehow it was my fault.
Because everyone had 150, and then JSU's like on the Up to Lock show, he's like, do not, if you're gonna do it, just go all in. And then you posted 126 lineups. I was dying. But yeah, I mean, like, we're not taking credit for the million. We shout out the members that do well. A lot of people are members from a lot of different sites. At the end of the day, TYA558 is the one that did it. And yeah, RPS, we're pushing the AM PM. I think that probably helped him in this process. At the end of the day, he clicks the buttons. He gets,
and he had the great pivot anyways. We didn't talk about pivoting to Burns over one of those guys. So that's his. You can formulate it all, and then all it takes is one little difference maker, and you got to make your own decisions. He made it just like when the man won. He had a very similar team that we talked about on the show, but he had the Gordon pivot and the one other pivot, which I can't remember at this point in time. 2 pivots, though, off of the plan, and he won $1 million. So, like, what were we the reason? No. Maybe our content helped, which I do think we, like Title said, we all play every single day, pretty much every sport, and we want to help. That's it. Like, we're not the only reason that any of these people with the screenshots won, but I'd like to think we help a little bit.
No, yeah, you'd like to think that. I think we do. They would. I mean, if we weren't, they wouldn't be a member. But yes, congrats to that. To JSU says sabotaged by Big T. I hate to see it. That was funny when I did see that. So Gary, I agree. I see you in chat. 560 watching, 200 likes. We're up to 213 right now, but that is very hurtful indeed. So hit that like. Again, I haven't asked much. I don't like to ask too much. We're gonna hammer game by game. So yeah, Cape Alex not an Up to Lock show, so I won't get yelled at if I go a little over today, but we're going to hammer game by game, then get DC, AP, Holden on the Up to Lock show for whoever asked that. Hit that like though, hit that big red subscribe for us. We appreciate it. I'll set a number if it gets a little stagnant in a little bit, but first game of the night, the Baltimore Orioles, the New York Yankees, Bruce Zimmerman against Jordan Montgomery on the mound. I'm going to go to you, Gary. Sounds like you have a little Baltimore interest, and I think it's interesting as well. They're on the road, which you guarantee the 9th inning at bat. It's in Yankee Stadium. It's a good hitter's park. You're not a believer in Montgomery. So talk about the Orioles and then talk about the Yankees.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Orioles just a little bit here. I mean, they're really cheap. They're a really cheap team that you can pair with 2 stud pitchers, which is, was my route. Now I'm going to go with more mid-range, but I will still have some Baltimore here. I mean, they raised Mountcastle's price up a little bit, but he's a stud, batting from the right side. Santander's in here, 3K outfielder. He's been on fire. Mullins is a little bit more expensive, lefty on lefty, 4,600. Even Mancini, Mountcastle. I mean, he's 2,500, batting from the right side too. So, like this team is a cheap stack if you're looking to jam in 2 studs. And on the Yankees, I'm just gonna. I mean, it's a scary fade, but I'm not gonna pay 6,400 for Judge or 6,300 for Stanton. The rest of their lineup is just really bad, especially with LeMahieu scratched here. So, just a little bit of Baltimore interest for me.
Big T, go over to you in this game. You're looking, if you need some cheap bats, Miguel Andujar is in the lineup. He's 2-1 in the 6 hole. Again, it looks like you're fine going down at pitching, so you might not need it. But if you are going like the Gary route, Corbin C, something like that, 2.1K in this lineup. What do you like from Baltimore or the Yankees?
Yeah, I have a feeling the Yankees might come in a little bit low owned tonight just because of the lineup and the price tags on Judge and Stanton. I mean, 6,400 and 6,300 is very expensive, obviously. And the rest of the lineup kind of sucks. So I think we might get them some. And Aaron Hicks, I hate him versus lefties too. So, like, I hate him up top. I never play this Kiner Falefa dude. I just don't. Marwin's terrible. Trevino's terrible. Andujar at least gives you a little bit of salary relief. But the annoying part is he's outfield. Like, I wish he could be like third base, or I don't even know what other position he plays. I remember he used to be third base, or I think. But it sucks that he's outfield. So, I mean, if I play the Yankees, I almost have to play Judge and Stanton because the upside. And I need a little bit of value just because you're paying 64 and 63. So you almost have to play Andujar. And man, it sucks to lock up your third outfield spot with a guy like that. So it does hurt just a little bit, but I'm going to keep saying it every single day. I just think you should have some Yankees. every day they just hit bombs. And when they get it going, they ship you the whole slate on a night like tonight where there's a lot of pitching. I don't think there'll be many runs tonight. I think one or two teams could win the slate, and the Yankees have to be in that discussion every single night. When you can roll out Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, boom, 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 that's a lot of power, a lot of upside. And yeah, the price tags are high. I'm playing 4 teams. I usually play 4 teams in baseball for that 4 max and some of that stuff. So I'm playing 4. I mean, I'll have at least one Yankee. I don't feel great about them today, though. Like, I don't, not like a couple of the days where I really like them. But the point is, some of the time when you don't like the Yankees as much, might actually be the time that you should be heavier on them, because if you get them low owned on a pitching slate,
yeah,
and just say between the 3 of those guys, you get 4 bombs, you're going to be in just very good shape with how much pitching's on this slate. And you can mix and match, like Gary said, now that I'm a little bit more off Zimmerman. I mean, these guys like Mountcastle, 2,500. I am annoyed that catcher's 4K already, though. Like, I don't want to pay 4K that really for him on this slate, but Urias is 2,800. He's been pretty good lately. I don't Santander. I always like him being a switch hitter. They can't really hurt him with the bullpen either. So yeah, you can mix and match. Austin Hayes always been, but again, all these guys are outfielders too. So it maybe Mountcastle and Urias or something with these Yankees is some salary relief, but I'll definitely have at least one Yankees of my 4.
I like it. Let's get into the next game. The Dodgers taking on the Nationals. Walker Buehler and Josiah Gray on the mound. I assume no Nationals for you, Big T, but it's the Dodgers. Then you got to talk about, if you do have interest in the Dodgers, which I think you will, Edwin Rios and Freddie Freeman, both first base eligible, both in the lineup. I know we talked about it a lot yesterday. And yeah, what was it? Freddie got 21. Rios got a big 0. A lot of people tilting that. Yeah. What are you doing at first base if you stack the Dodgers?
Yeah, I mean, it was another point. Again, I say when I call things bad too, but yesterday it was clear as day because Rios was in the 4 hole. Freeman was obviously double the price, and just building teams with 2 studs yesterday, it was very hard to play Freddie. And I made myself do it just because I knew the leverage, and it was probably what ended up shipping for me was playing Freddie over Rios. I mean, that was a huge pivot, even though the price. Tonight, however, Rios is in the 7 hole, which I actually like because I don't think he'll get owned. I don't. I mean, by not owned, I mean, he'll still be 10% or whatever, 8 to 10% in that range, but he has no chance at being like 30% or something on this slate. So I actually like Rios more than Freddie tonight. I mean, if you can fit Fred, obviously, anytime you play any Mookie, Freddie, great plays anytime. But I like Rios and Lux every time versus a righty, and I can play Rios and Lux in the 7 and 9 hole, and even Chris Taylor in the 8 hole. Chris Taylor's always 3% owned for the Dodgers, and he has tons of upside. The Dodgers are just such a freaking good stack every single day. Mookie Betts is on fire. Trey Turner, always upside. Will Smith's always going to be somewhat low owned because he's an expensive catcher on a slate like this. The one guy that's been awful is Muncy. I keep playing him because it's still Muncy, and I just feel like he's got a big game coming. But it's probably a bad play. I mean, with all these other guys, he just hasn't been good. So I don't know there. I love the Dodgers, though. I think they have another big game. I think you could get a little creative with some Washington. I'm just not a Buehler guy. I think he's a good pitcher. I just don't love him, though. Like, if you wanted to play like a Lane Thomas, Franco, Yachty Hernandez, I mean, any of these guys is like just a filler on your Dodgers team. I'm okay with that. I don't totally hate them as one-offs. Yeah, and when you do that, so people always ask why I don't worry about ownership. It's because I do weird stuff like that no one else really does, where if I play 5 Dodgers, say I play Judge or something, so that's 6 of my 8 hitters, and then I'll just randomly throw in like a Lane Thomas or whoever fits. Like, no one can have that build. It's a random build. Like, no one will. I'll be unique at 1 or 2 spots.
Yep, definitely makes sense. Gary, Dodgers, Nationals. Talk about the Dodgers if you got some interest. Talk about that Freddie Freeman Rios conversation, and then Muncy. I know we talked about Muncy, or you guys did on the Up to Lock show good amount yesterday, where DC, I believe you're on the same page, like all the batted ball, all the advanced metrics are saying that he's the same player as he was. The results aren't there. Sometimes that's baseball at the end of the day, but talk about that too.
Yeah, I've been staying away from Muncy too. The numbers look okay, but the eye test looks a little different. He definitely does not look okay out there swinging the bat. So yeah, I definitely would prefer to play Gavin Lux at second base over Muncy. And yeah, I definitely love the Dodgers today. I'm a little annoyed that they gave Bellinger a day off because he's been raking recently. But yeah, I love Rios over the Freeman. Like I said, you can get Rios, Lux, and Mookie as a little 3-man with two top tier pitchers. It's really cheap way to get access to this lineup. Who's going to continue to score a lot of runs here. So yeah, definitely love me some Dodgers. One of my favorite stacks on the slate. And yeah, let's just keep it short and sweet with Washington. No interest for me.
Next game on the slate, I think you might have some interest here. Philadelphia Phillies, your Atlanta Braves, Kyle Gibson and Max Fried on the mound. Assume no Phillies. You can tell me if I'm wrong, then talk about the Braves.
Yeah, I'm going to be off the Phillies here. Definitely love Max Fried here in this spot. And you know what Braves love here is, so yesterday they changed the lineup around. They moved Matt Olson down in the 5-hole, put Contreras in the lineup in the 2-hole. Contreras has been mashing right-handed pitching. I think he's got the second most home runs by any catcher in the league, and he's only played 10 games this year. He's 5,100. He's going to be 1% owned on this slate. He is my favorite catcher on the slate. In addition to Ronald Acuna, $6K for him. I would much rather pay that price. I know it's crazy than like a Judge or a Stanton. This guy, when he gets on the base path, he's just running. He's running at will. I think he's got 10 stolen bases on the year already. Huge upside here. Love the Braves. Marcell Ozuna, 4,100. He's also really good against right-handed pitching. But yeah, love the Braves today. And William Contreras is probably my favorite bat on the slate.
I like it. Big T. First of all, Joe A made me laugh because I saw your thing in Discord. He said, good thing Muncy didn't hit a bomb yesterday. Big T would have gotten naked. I saw your
That's
Discord.
true.
That's good, Joe
He
A.
actually did hold me back a ton too. So I deserved it because I had so many good teams where he just, I still did good, but he definitely hurt me playing him at third.
At least he wasn't the reason you didn't hit the Q. He was on your Q team.
Oh, yeah, he was. He was my only bad guy, too. And I'm glad it didn't cost me because it was funny. He was the only one I didn't like, but it just worked with my roster construction where it just fit. Or else I would have had to play a guy I didn't like because my three A's guys fit perfectly with the Muncy build.
Yeah.
And oh man, but
that was funny though, Joe. I saw that. Phillies Braves.
True, I did say that.
Phillies Braves. What you got?
So Gary made fun of my pitchers, so I got to get him back and make fun of his Braves offense here because I think they get some. These prices are outrageous, like over 5K, and you got 2 catchers in the top 4. I just never play Ozuna. Oh, I'm not an Olsen. I hate the Braves. I just think they suck. I don't like their team at all.
Very hurtful.
They did treat us right last year in the playoffs. I was heavy with my man Gary all playoffs last year. Showdowns, his bullpen 7, 8, 9. I forget their names now. That's how long it's been.
Smith.
Just hero. Did they got all 3 of those dudes again?
Yeah, but Matzik's on the IL. He's been hurt.
Yeah. Well, what was his nickname or something like Big Nuts or something?
That's probably your nickname you gave him.
Yeah. No, he signs a baseball. Someone in the chat will know. Every time he signs, he says Big Nuts or something. Someone in the chat tell me what. The guy's a hero though. What?
I think it's Nutsack.
Nutsack.
Oh yeah, it could be Nutsack. Yeah, it's something like that though. Something I loved it though when he was signing the baseballs with it. But I don't know, I love Acuna. Absolutely, I love Acuna, but I also like Judge and Mookie Betts in that same price range. So I'm kind of on I just don't like the Braves right now. I don't, especially the prices. Man, you don't get any sort of price break with these guys. And I just can't do, and 2 catchers, that really annoys me. Why can't one of them be first base eligible even or anything? Give them some sort of ability.
They got Contreras playing in the outfield now, so he should get outfield.
Yeah, like give him the freaking outfield.
They're
that's
cheaper
what's
on
better about FanDuel, right?
I'll
like
say they're cheaper on FanDuel. What are your thoughts there? Like William Contreras.
If they're cheaper, I definitely like them more.
2.1K for William Contreras, where he's 5-1 on DK.
Let me pull it up.
We got Darno 2.8.
Yeah, like Contreras at 2,100 as a catcher. Yeah, absolutely. I will have the Braves with Gary on FanDuel and you can play both catchers. You want to talk about a build I love? Play Contreras and D'Arnaud on FanDuel. Don't play Matt Olson, obviously, because you can't play all three of them. But play the two catchers, play Acuna, and then play one of the sneakier guys at the bottom. Any of those dudes at the bottom to give you a unique stack on FanDuel. I'm glad you said that because sometimes I forget how cheap these guys are on FanDuel. And, like, look at them compared to the Dodgers. Like, I could see making a team – those guys up top from the Braves and the Dodgers bottom where you got Rios, Lux, it blends together too if you look at the positions. And it's one of the reasons I always like the Dodgers, besides the fact that they're the best team in baseball and they're going to win 120 games or something. It's that their prices and their positions. Like, look at their positions on FanDuel. You have all the infield spots and somewhat cheap price. They just always fit. No matter what, you can fit the Dodgers with any build, and it's just perfect because every team, what do we usually like? Outfielders. Dodgers don't have outfielders besides Mookie. So I don't know. The Dodgers fit really good, but Braves on FanDuel, I can't do it on DK though. I get it though. That I think they could end up somewhat lower owned because of the prices and the spot, the more I think about it, but it definitely on FanDuel. I like that.
Shout out to Rolo. He was the one that said they're cheap on FanDuel, so I can't even take credit for that.
But Contreras at 2,100 is just
51 on DK, 21 on FanDuel. Those are the price
I can't do the 51. I do like the guy though.
I like the call.
The bomb tonight. He says the bomb.
I like the call too. Actually,
the overpriced guys in baseball because they have a home run. You don't care what the price is. You'll
especially
take that
a catcher.
Yeah,
more than any other position
for sure. Let's see. We got over 600 watching, 242 likes. Let's get 300. We can make a push to 300 easily. 600 likes, giving winners off a big day from Big T yesterday. So let's get 300. Should be easy. Still got a good amount of games left. Next game on the slate, Detroit Tigers, Minnesota Twins. Bo Brisky taking on Sonny Gray. I'll go back to you, Big T. Sonny Gray is going to be owned. Can you make the leverage can you get, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Can you make a case? That's what I'm trying to say for the leverage stack with the Tigers like you did Oakland yesterday, or is this just a full fade game for bats?
Yeah, it's a much different spot where Marco I just think Marco sucks. Sonny Gray, even when you don't like him, he still throws the sinkers. I think tons of ground balls. I don't play hitters against Sonny. So I won't be doing that for sure. And honestly, I'm a little annoyed Minnesota. I realized Polanco, I don't know if he's hurt or just out of the lineup, but
it's your boy.
That's my boy. I can't stack Minnesota without my boy. So I actually think their lineup kind of sucks tonight too.
And you don't like Buxton. There's no way you're stacking him. No Polanco and Buxton. You don't.
I needed Polanco. I mean, so Buxton. The chat yesterday, people were saying like he's a free square. And I love Buxton. Like, why? I don't get it. You have Judge on fire, Acuna the man, Betts on fire, all these guys up there. Why in the world is Buxton a better play? Maybe sometimes I simplify it too much, which helps me. But literally all I have to do is look at those three I just named. They keep crushing every freaking day. I go to Buxton. The dude has like 5 straight games with 1 hit or none, like no big games in there. I just don't. Why would you play Buxton over those guys? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Do the numbers show it or something?
Probably just he's been so good early in the year.
I mean, he's awesome. I freaking love Buxton as a player. He's just not that dialed in at the moment.
I will say that usually when we talk like this, he homers that.
He probably will tonight. He'll go play Buxton
guaranteed dong incoming. Guaranteed
just like yesterday with
Alex. He is going to crush now. I can't believe you shouldn't have said that. Now I want to play him on a team.
It reminded me of Alex Bregman yesterday on the Up to Lock show, and K Felix talking about the Houston media. He's been so bad. All this. I see on my phone, Alex Bregman homer. It's
uncanny how many times it happens like that. Like many times. Whenever you shit on someone.
It is crazy. Gary, go to you. You going to have any bets in this game? Full fade? Talk about it.
Yeah, full fade for me. Buxton, like the T said, I think Buxton looks lost right now. No Polanco. Full fade. I can't play any Detroit bats on a 12 gamer.
Makes sense. What about Toronto and the Cardinals? Kevin Gossman taking on Jordan Hicks. I assume no Cardinals against Gossman, but any Toronto for you?
I mean, yeah, no. I mean, Toronto has been really bad. I mean, they're just one of those teams that's in a funk right now. Just Hicks guy is not a good pitcher at all. I contemplated him a little bit, but not going to have any of this game of the bats.
Big T.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look very good. Low total, decent pitching. I mean, Gaussman, obviously, we like. I don't think Hicks is like that terrible. And the Toronto just hasn't been hitting either. Vladdy's in a big slump. I always like Springer, but his price is high. Bichette's price is high. I don't like the lineup overall. I mean, the one thing that does stick out just a little bit is St. Louis bottom. Kind of reminds me just a tiny bit of Oakland, where Gorman, Dickerson, and the cheap catcher, like I could see like a little mini stack going against Gauss, especially Gorman and Dickerson, 2,400, 2,500. Those are plays I like against a good pitcher, free, decent splits guys. I don't know. Not my favorite, but I don't mind throwing those guys in there if you need just low owned, cheap, like contrarian plays.
Yep, makes sense. I see they got Toronto finally moved up Santiago Espinal to the 2-hole, which I like that. I mean, they've been struggling, so that dude's been good this year. So I like that they did that, but I don't like bats in that game really either. If you go bottom of St. Louis, they'll 1% owned, if that, maybe 0.56% owned with you the only one.
That's the fun part of baseball, though, right? Like, you know for a fact those guys are going to be 1% owned, where all they had, like yesterday, those Oakland guys all got like 10, and you just smashed. They were higher owned than I thought yesterday, too, just to polish that part up. They were actually kind of chalky, I guess, because they were just so cheap. Everyone was kind of thinking the same thing with the leverage. So that was one counterpoint to my Discord thing. I did think they would be low owned, but they were much higher than I thought.
Yeah.
I will say one thing. I will say one thing here about the St. Louis side. I mean, Paul Goldschmidt is one of the hottest hitters in baseball right now, and I mean, he's a great one-off tonight at no ownership.
Yeah, you called that bomb yesterday, Gary. So good call there. Let's get to the next game. The Cleveland Guardians, the Houston Astros. Plesac against Valdez on the mound. Big T, I'll go to you. I assume you like Valdez, so probably no Cleveland, but what about the Astros?
Yeah, I haven't been playing too much Astros. The guys I would like always against Plesac would be the same two always. Jordan and Tucker, both lefties. You could throw one other guy in, but Houston would definitely be more of a mini stack for me. With even Pena, I always liked Title's boy Pena. 4,800, another guy. Maybe it's just a feel for baseball, but it's just nice knowing like you could play a mini stack, Jordan and Tucker as like the popular, and then Pena, like no one's going to play Pena. He just can't be owned at 4,800. So you get nice upside with those three. That would be where I was at with that. And yeah, Cleveland, I mean, you can always play Jose Ramirez, but I don't like this lineup versus Framber. I'm way more on the Framber side.
I was tilted a little yesterday. I like Cleveland. They did pretty good. Jose Ramirez is always my favorite DFS player to roster. I said Josh Naylor is the play of the day. And of course, JSURab absolutely does that. But Gary, Cleveland, Astros, what you got for bats?
Yeah, love the Astros here. One of my favorite stacks on the slate as usual. I play them right there alongside with Stevie as the most at RPS. So I'm going to be all aboard the Houston train here versus Plesac. He's just not good. And definitely off of the Cleveland bats.
I like it. Before we get in the next game, 263 likes. We have 580 watching. Do us a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe. Over half the people out here watching for free and haven't hit it yet. It's a little hurtful. That is a little hurtful. So let's get to 300. Let's make a push. We appreciate it as always. Next game on the slate, the Boston Red Sox, the Chicago White Sox, Nick Pavetta, Dylan Cease on the mound. Gary, I'll go to you first. I'm expecting a move on, but if not, what you got?
Yeah, I mean, super low total. I love both pitchers here. No bats for me.
Big T.
Just one of my favorite one-off spots because this is where I love to capitalize. But Moncada always against a righty. No one's going to play him.
Boy.
And I like him even more against a pitcher that's been doing good. That I just love when I can play a one-off. I've done this for like the entire time I've played DFS base. I love when you can play a one-off that you love that has upside that no one's going to play. Like, it's just one of my favorites, my favorite things to do. Two-hole Mancada, I mean, just I love him against Pavetta. So that would be it for me, though. I don't like these offenses.
Next game on the slate, going back to you, Big T. Texas Rangers, Los Angeles Angels, Dane Dunning and Noah Syndergaard on the mound. Any interest in this? I mean, man, Syndergaard last time out absolutely got rocked. It was against the same team too. Syndergaard, it was. What do you go? Not even a full inning, 2/3 of an inning, -8 points. The same Texas team, Big T. Any interest in this? In either of these two bats?
Yeah, I wanted to like the Angels coming into today when I was looking at it. I just look at the lineup though, and man, I just can't do it.
Isn't your boy Matt Duffy in the 4-hole?
Yeah, I only like him versus lefties, though. I mean, Matt Duffy in the 4-hole versus a righty just feels like puke worthy, and there's just no way. I mean, Texas, I guess I would have more interest even than the Angels, but I don't think you need it on this slate. It's back to my original point where I think people try to outsmart themselves and just like get too cute. Where you're still taking, I know the prices are different and the stuff, but you're still taking like Texas to outscore the Dodgers, Yankees, Houston, Braves. Like, I don't know. You don't need to do that. So I'm off this game. I mean, I do see my boy Big Brad down there in the 9-hole, but I don't even think I'll play him tonight.
Go to you, Gary. Squid in the chat. He's been back for a little while. What's going on, Squid? Said if Trout doesn't hit one out, I'll stake someone on Friday. All right. I said it out loud. People are going to remember that, Squid. Gary, any Mike Trout for you? You can never say no, but Angels or Texas, you going to stack either of them up?
No stacks for me, but yeah, can never go wrong with, even a Ohtani or Trout. Maybe a two-man. I mean, this is expensive. I doubt I'd do it on the slate, but yeah, mostly off of this game for bats.
I love the chat too. Mancada sucks. Okay. That like makes me want to play him even more when the chat does that.
Next game on the slate, the Oakland Athletics, Seattle Mariners. What I won all the money yesterday, 7.5 total. We got James Caprilli. I say it for me, Gary. Caprillion. No, I got it.
Caprillion. Yeah.
Caprilli. I just had to look at it a couple times against George Kirby on the mound. Go to you, Gary. Is it going to be a same thing as yesterday and go off, or is this a stay away spot? You're not playing Kirby, so maybe it's some interest for you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate some Oakland pieces, like as far as, as my one-off and my five-man stacks. But I'm not stacking either one of these teams tonight.
Big T, I assume it's
other spots I like better.
Assume it's a move on for you, Big T.
Just like looking at some of the stuff. I mean, this Julio Rodriguez is a freaking monster. He is just a beast. And he's only 3,500. So I think that's a decent one-off. I don't know. These Seattle prices, it feels like Seattle's been better than I expected them to be. And these prices are pretty cheap. So I could see Seattle being more of a mini stack, one-off type team, but definitely not playing Oakland. I don't hate the Julio Rod, though, one-off play as a little bit of
Lewis is back in the lineup, too.
Who?
Kyle Lewis. He's a top prospect.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that was he on a different team last year?
No, I think this is not.
Was it always Seattle? I remember
thinking of someone on like the Minnesota Twins or something.
I was thinking Minnesota. Is that a different dude?
I believe
Royce Lewis.
It was something like that.
Royce Lewis,
maybe. I don't know.
Something from Minnesota. I was thinking the same thing.
That's who I was thinking it was for sure. But I've been playing Kyle Lewis thinking it was the other Lewis. So maybe I'm just getting both of them confused. I don't know.
There is, Roy. Yeah, Redmond said Royce Lewis.
Has Royce been playing too or something?
I haven't seen him too much, but we were definitely thinking of the same guy.
I'm confusing myself, but I think Seattle's kind of sneaky tonight, though. They've been looking better on offense. You got some good prices. I mean, Winker, 3,200 leading off. Frazier's, I always like Frazier a little bit. Julio Rod.
We also talked on the show yesterday, and it really helped Steve Anthony. Again, we're not taking credit for it. Steve put it in, but Cal Raleigh down there in the 9-hole.
He was 2K.
Yeah, he's the min price, and he hit a bomb. And we were saying, like, you like Seattle, throw that catcher in there that's free. And And what do? He hit a home run, and you'll take that. So if you're stacking him, I think throwing in that min-price catcher, Steve Anthony did yesterday, absolutely printed for him. So, yeah, I agree. Seattle's definitely a pretty good squad, I think. They've been hitting the ball pretty well. Let's get to the next game, though. Let's see what the likes. 296. You guys made a big push for us. We're going to get over 300. I know it. We appreciate it for sure. 3 games. Milwaukee Brewers, San Diego Padres, Corbin Burns, and Blake Snell on the mound. I'm going to go to you, Gary. You don't play Chalk Snell. Are you stacking against Chalk Snell? What do you got in this game?
It stinks that Renfroe is not going to be in the lineup here, but I do like a little bit. I mean, they're cheap. Brosseau's 2,500 at third base. You got Hyura, who's 2,800 at first base against the lefty. So I like him more as like a mini stack here. McCutcheon even at 4K, like him a lot. No San Diego bats, but I'll have some Milwaukee mini stacks.
If you're going to play Milwaukee, like I always say, play Tyrone Taylor. Dude is a complete stud.
And Tyrone Taylor. Yeah.
Big T, what you got?
I mean, what are they? I just realized the chat. Jay Castro saying Julio not starting. What are you talking about? I see him right in there. Unless
I see him in the 4. I see him in the 4 hole.
Yeah.
I'm not playing offense in this game. I don't like either offense at all, and I like both pitchers. So, no offense.
Kansas City Royals, Arizona Diamondbacks. John Heasley on the mound. Could pronounce that wrong for sure. I do not know. Taking on Zach Gallen. Big T, any D-backs or Royals for you?
Yeah, I would be interested in Arizona, but man, I just don't know who. I guess I kind of like going towards a wraparound where you got McCarthy and this Alec Thomas dude that I didn't even know who he was last week. Again,
I don't know any Jake Hager.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest baseball guy out there. I play every day, but I do not know those bottom a couple of those guys at the bottom.
I know that last week someone told me this Alec Thomas is like a prospect that's pretty good, and McCarthy, I've played him a little, but they could be like a team that you mix with like early Dodgers, because again, I talked about the outfielders. You could play like McCarthy, Thomas, 28, 29, and then like even the second baseman or something, this Hager, and then mix it with the Dodgers, and you're guaranteed to be low on. But I'm not going to play Kansas City for sure against Gallen. Gallen's a stud. I don't love Arizona, but it's another team I could definitely see using for a mini stack.
Yeah, I clicked on Alex Thomas, and he definitely looks pretty solid. And then Kane McLean in chat said Thomas is good. So that's what I always like to hear. When I don't recognize it, someone in chat's going to know. And I'll take top prospects for sure. Gary, Royals and D-backs, what you got for hitting?
Yeah, a lot of interest for me from these Arizona side. I mean, Alec Thomas, he's a stud. He smashes right-handed pitching. Seeing a small sample, of course, but he's got a 323 ISO and a 438 WOBA against right-handed pitching this year. Definitely like him a lot. David Peralta is also one that's really cheap and been hitting righties really well. Christian Walker even at first base. I know we're trying to fill up the infield spots here, so like him. Pavin Smith. I mean, I like this whole lineup. I don't know if I'm going to 5-man them. I think I'm just going to pick two stacks to 5-man tonight, but I will be mixing in these guys as my minis.
I like it. Last game on the slate, New York Mets, San Francisco Giants, Chris Bassett, Logan Webb on the mound. Pretty low total, 7.5. Big T, cross off, nothing in this, or you got something special?
No, easy fade for me. I like both pitchers enough, and definitely don't like the park. Definitely don't. The Mets have been good, but just not tonight for me.
There's 12 games on the slate. I'm with you. Gary, same thing?
Same for me. No bets.
I like it. That was all 12 games. I saw some people asking about pitching earlier in the chat or something. We talked about it early as always. You can always rewind, put on 1.5x, and you can see what we all got. But you guys absolutely smashed the likes. We appreciate it. If you haven't hit it and you want to hit it, we appreciate it. Plays of the day are coming. But first, we got to get to the stacks as always. Gary, top 3 stacks of the slate. What do you got?
I'm going to go Dodgers, Astros, and Braves.
I like it. Big T, top 3 stacks.
Yeah, give me Dodgers. I mean, Dodgers are going to be my nucleus again. I don't know if I have another full stack. A lot of those mini stacks with the Dodgers, but just to throw them in there. I mean, Yankees, like always, Dodgers, Yankees. I don't have a sneaky mini stack or sneaky full stack. I'm trying to see who I would. I don't know. Like, who do I say throughout? I don't even see any of these teams I actually like.
You were
So
talking
Dodgers,
like the bottom of the Cardinals order for
Yeah,
mini stack is the
more
most
mini
contrarian.
stacks. Yeah, I want to build around the Dodgers tonight, and it's going to be basically all mini stacks with them. 5 Dodgers with just mini stacks. So I don't know. I was trying to find like a sneaky stack that I could give. I just don't. I think it might be the Cardinals if I was given a sneaky one. I like the Goldsmith call from Gary. I like the prices as you work down, and I like the ownership. So if I needed one sneaky stack, it would be the Cardinals.
But you did talk about like today, pitchers really spread out. You can play so many. You're going to anchor your teams around the Dodgers mostly. So you don't.
I just feel good about the Dodgers too. Like, just I look at the lineup. I love the whole lineup. I love the matchup. I love the park. I'm just going to jam them in there again. And I'm not as confident as I was yesterday, but I still like the Dodgers a lot today.
I like it for sure. Now the plays of the day. Going to go to myself first with the SO play of the day. I'm going to give 2 because you guys treated me very well with the like button. Gavin Lux has to be number 1. My boy, can play him at second base on the Dodgers, play him all the time. We like the Dodgers a lot. And then I got to go with Alec Thomas on the Diamondbacks. Sometimes you just got to listen to what the world's giving you and the people are giving it. I didn't recognize him at first. I mean, I don't watch baseball every single night. People are telling me he's a stud. I click on it. He looks like a stud. All right. So give me Alec Thomas and Gavin Lux as the SO play of the day. Gary, the groundhog play of the day. Who do you got for us?
I'm going to pull a DC here. I'm going to give a pitcher and a hitter. Framber Valdez is going to smash the slate tonight. It's going to be my highest owned pitcher in my 20 lineups that I'm doing tonight. And going back to my Braves love here, William Contreras, who Big T hates, might even hit 2 more today.
All right, I like.
He just hit 2 bombs yesterday.
Well, a few games ago, yeah. Oh. That's the second time he's done it this year.
I like it. Big T, the workbench play of the day. Who do you got for us?
Yeah, I'll give a pitcher and a hitter too. I like that. My pitcher's got to be Kirby though. He's fine. I don't know if he's going to be low on. He might be somewhat low on, but just the way the slate is.
Pitchers,
so many pitchers. So Kirby's for sure my favorite, and he fits with my roster. So I love Kirby is my pitcher, and then my hitter. I gotta own the chat. I gotta go with my boy Moncada after they made fun of me. Give me my one-off, Mr. Moncada, and he fits good with my Dodgers stack because I don't like Justin Turner that much. Muncie's been struggling, or I could play him at second if I wanted to. So it kind of fits with my Dodgers. So give me Mr. Moncada to own that dude in chat.
I love it. And yeah, you got 2 from all of us because you guys did hit the like. You absolutely impressed me and we appreciate it. Kevin McLean Thomas is very similar to Lux. I absolutely love to hear that.
We'll build a team with all these plays.
Yep. And then Kenny Booms, I thought Big T said he liked the O stack earlier. That was
mini stack though.
That was more Gary, and I thought
I like the mini stack though, like Hayes, Mountie, Urias. Definitely not a full stack though. I wouldn't. Not against the Yankees bullpen, Bill Miller. I would definitely not full stack Baltimore.
Yep, makes some sense. So Up to Lock show going to be coming up right after this, the premium show. DC, AP Holding, giving you all the takes. And then after that, Big T, JSU, talking some hoops, always big prize pools on DraftKings. If you're not a member and you want to, PGA 50 is the promo code. Get you 50% off your first payment. That's going to do it for us, though. We'll see you in the live show chat. For Gary, Big T, myself, Title Town, sign behind the sticks. Good luck, everybody. I messed that up.